Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Football Stooges. Sorry that we've been gone so long, but thank you for your patience. We've had a crazy holiday season and a rough start to the new year for one of the three of us. So we got 3 weeks of football, week 16, 17, 18 to cover, as well as predicting the wild card weekend and overall just the playoffs. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to get into, and to top it all off, we only got 2 out of the 3 Stooges here. Um, Mamba decided to go on a holiday cruise and just got sick as a dog, so he's out. So it's just me and the resident Eagles fan, Mastodon,
Yep.
coming in.
I'm not drinking right now. I'm hungover. I'll be later. I've been on a drinking binge this week.
Because of the Eagles and what you're worried about, or
just in general. Had to go back to work.
Yeah.
Texas drive, going from North Carolina to Texas and back.
Yeah. All right, well, let's hop right into it. We got week 16, 17, 18 to cover. We a lot to get to, and we're going to be taking a look at all of the games played, but again, kind of skimming over 16 and 17 a little bit more, not going as super in-depth. 18 will go super in-depth with the stats and everything. It's a little more pertinent to the time, but we'll definitely go over the main things with each game and then proceed from there. Without further ado, let's get started on the Thursday night game of week 16, Jacksonville 19, New York Jets 3 in MetLife Stadium. Trevor Lawrence looked great, 229 yards, 20 for 31, no interceptions, 1 sack, as opposed to Zach Wilson, 9 for 18, 92 yards, 1 interception. Again, Trevor Lawrence looking like he's starting to mature, definitely not at that elite level, but getting there. I would say like kind of where Justin Herbert was maybe a season or two ago, where people were like kind of teetering on that, and with more performances like this, it won't be long.
I'll say he actually has a coach that knows what he's doing. That's a big thing. No Urban Meyer. And also Zach Wilson is bad. And with Mike White hurt, just Jets be on the free fall. And Brees Hall, you said earlier.
Yeah. Brees Hall being out really limited this team to a one dimension, and that one dimension is probably where they need the most help in a quarterback. But who knows? Lamar Jackson might be going there this offseason. Everyone's saying that for some reason. I keep seeing Instagram pictures of like, oh, Lamar's going to the Jets. I'm like, what makes you say that? What? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, not a big game from anybody else. Ground rushing wasn't that great for Etienne or Steveler. Evan Ingram had 113 yards as a tight end. You don't see 100-yard games from tight ends except Travis Kelce and George Kittle every now and then. So that's a great performance from him. Yeah. Definitely a great pickup by the Jags. But yeah, I mean, all around a very great performance from Lawrence, and he was able to really get it done when needed. So hats off to them, and a dominating win again, 19-3 against the Jets in the Jets' house. All right, Bills Bears. This one was actually close for a while until the Bills started to pull away in the second half. The Bears were up 10-6 at the half, but eventually the Bills pulled away, winning the game 35-13. The Bears, again, not looking good this season. We'll get into their other games as we go on. But again, a diamond in the rough is Justin Fields. He had 119 yards of passing, 1 touchdowns and 2 sacks. Also ran for 11 yards and 7 carries. He's looking like a prime Michael Vick. I don't say that with any without this. Besides that, like he's just looking like a prime Michael Vick. I don't really see any differences. Athleticism, ball control, accuracy with the pass on the run. I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah. Just give him an offensive line. Don't let him get hurt.
Yeah,
that's a big.
You don't want an Andrew Luck situation. On the other side of the ball, this was probably the biggest.
I'm surprised. Oh, whoops! Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, I'm just surprised that Bills actually had someone go over 100 yards rushing. That's not Josh Allen.
Yeah, they nearly had 2 people. Devin Singletary rushed for 106 yards on 12 carries, and James Cook 99 yards on 11 carries. Again, the Bears' defense is about as useful as a bowl with a hole in it. So, yeah. Josh Allen also passed for 172 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 1 sack. Again, his interception numbers have been climbing late in the year. Do you think Bills fans should be worried about this at all?
Maybe, but I think it's also the injury he had earlier in the season.
Yeah, I mean, that could be affecting his accuracy. Possibly it could be, kind of lingering with him. But I don't know. It's definitely not something good to see your quarterback's interception numbers climb toward the end of the year. That's not something you want to see, not in the
Yeah.
slightest. But I mean, the Bills are still pretty strong on paper. The run game's weak, but that's just been the Bills for the past couple of years. But yeah, again, Bills 35, Chicago Bears 13. Bills get the win in Soldier Field on a cold, windy day. Also, the Bears are also getting approved for, at least semi-approved for a new stadium that is going to keep them in Chicago, which is interesting rather than moving out to Arlington, which would be interesting. It's a big stadium. Interesting to see if it actually happens.
Yeah.
New Orleans Saints 17, Cleveland Browns 10 in Cleveland. Andy Dalton beating up on his old arch nemesis, the Cleveland Browns, from his Bengal days. He only went 8 for 15 for 92 yards and one interception. Deshaun Watson went 15 for 31, 135 yards and one interception. This was a ground and pound game. Alvin Kamara had 76 yards rushing. Taysom Hill at 56. David Johnson had 16 for the Cleveland Browns. Nick Chubb had 92 yards rushing. Deshaun Watson had 24, and Kareem Hunt had 8. This game was boring. This was one of the most boring games I've watched in a while, even though if it was only a 7-point game.
It just sucked. I was listening to it while I was driving on NFL Red Zone. Yeah, it was bad. It was hilarious to see Watson suck, but it was
for
bad.
sure, especially as a Bengals fan, hilarious. Andy Dalton 8 for 15. I don't know the last time I've seen a quarterback complete less than like 10 passes and play the whole game. Like he started and played the whole game. 8 for 15.
Yeah, I think this is the game. This is the game that took Cleveland out of the playoffs too.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't understand. Both these teams have major issues. They should be good. Like on paper, they should be good. You have the Browns, who have a one of the best two back rotations in the game. They have a pretty good defense that's headed by Myles Garrett. Not to mention also like, they have a cornerback that's really good. I can't remember his name. I think it's like Ward. I think
I can't remember either.
Yeah, I can't. He's probably listed in the stats right here. Denzel Ward, yes, Denzel Ward.
Right.
Yeah, Denzel Ward. So they have a good defense. They have some really good key players. Especially like Myles Garrett is still a dangerous pass rusher. And then the Saints, on the other hand, they have like Marcus Davenport on the defense. They have Marshawn Lattimore. They have Tyrann Mathieu. Not mentioned on the offense, they have Alvin Kamara, plus Taysom Hill's been really great this year. Andy Dalton. They have a couple, I think they have one of the rookies out of Ohio State. Like they have a lot of good players, but both these teams this whole season have just sucked. Sucked. I mean, maybe? Could be. Also, like the Saints, like I still don't think the Saints have found their quarterback. Like Dalton was a mid-level quarterback his whole career. I think he still is. He's good. He's not like Garoppolo. He's not losing you games, but he's not winning you games. He's just there. Yeah. And I think Winston is one of those quarterbacks who's the opposite. He'll win you games, but also he will lose you games. So I think they need to find a solid quarterback, which they haven't really found yet.
I guess that's the first pick is the Eagles.
Yeah. Maybe they trade up and try to find a quarterback. I don't know. There's a decent amount in this upcoming draft, but really boring game. Saints win 17-10 in Cleveland. Alrighty. Moving next, Seahawks Chiefs. Chiefs win decently big, 24-10 at home. Patrick Mahomes, again, kind of trying to solidify that MVP caliber status with a 224-yard game on 16 for 28 with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Geno Smith went 25 for 40. I've never seen Geno Smith attempt 40 passes, but here we are. 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 2 sacks. Not to mention Kenneth Walker III also ran for 107 yards. I'm telling you, if this Seahawks defense would have any semblance of a professional defense, they would be pretty good. But I mean, their secondary is spotty at times. They have Kobe Bryant, not to be confused with Kobe Bryant, who's been really great, and Tariq Woolen.
And Woolen.
Yep, Woolen, who both been good, as well as Quandre Diggs. But then, like, their front 4 plus linebackers, that like the box, if you will, of the defense is shit. It's so shit. They can't stop the run. They can't tackle in space. They can't cover the center flat in the middle of the field in that cover 2 style, if you will. They can't do anything there. So it's just their secondary trying to manage all these holes that this, the box defense lets up. And if you're going to try to manage a defense that has some sort of weakness, Patrick Mahomes is going to exploit it to the maximum degree.
Oh, yeah. And Chiefs offense just better and able to exploit the defense of what defense they have.
And this is the thing, though. This is like the Chiefs' rebuilding year. Apparently, they lost Tyreek Hill, their best offensive weapon, and now they also lost some linemen, not to mention a running back. Now they're doing with Pacheco to start, and they picked up Juju Smith-Schuster, who is kind of a washed-up old Steelers receiver, and they're like first in the AFC.
I mean, their line's it's not like the offensive line's bad. Like, Andy Reid knows how to get offensive linemen, and just his offense in general just knows how to. It's just a matter of sometimes the Chiefs' defense can be spotty.
Yeah, very spotty.
It's just how can you stop Patrick Mahomes? Kind of just keep the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
What else can you do?
Yeah, I mean, what else can you do? Seahawks couldn't do much. Again, Chiefs getting the win 24-10 at Arrowhead. All right. Giants Vikings. Oh boy. This was the Vikings wore their whiteout uniforms, which was interesting to see. They hadn't been teased all year. It was kind of a drop of the hat kind of thing. There was a whiteout in US Bank Arena in Minneapolis. It turned out to be great for them. They ended up winning 27-24 on a game-winning field goal against the Giants. Daniel Jones played really well, 30 for 42, 334 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 3 sacks. Kirk Cousins, 299 yards, 34 for 48, and 3 touchdowns and 4 sacks. Running game wasn't really great for either team, but again, passing tended to be the highlight of this game. And this kind of proves with each two teams, which we'll get into later, meeting in the wild card game, this could be a great game to watch. This could be a great game to see. Yeah. I believe this is one of the Sunday games, so we'll see this tomorrow.
It is.
So, yeah.
Vikings pulling it out of their ass again. They have 12 comeback wins when they were down in the fourth quarter this year.
I believe the Vikings still have a negative point differential this entire season.
Yes, they have a -3.
Where do I see that? I want to see their point differential.
That'll be in standings. But I did see that they have a -3 point differential this whole year. Points for, and then points against 424, 427.
Yeah, they have a -3 differential.
And that's because of the Dallas game and a couple other games where they got blown out. But then they kept on
Detroit, who missed the playoffs, has a +26 point differential.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, the Vikings seem, a lot of people thinking, and we'll get more into this later, that they're pretenders going into the wild card game.
Their defense is bad.
Yeah, they have some good pass rush on that defense, but other than that, it's sketchy at best. So they need to make some improvements and make some improvements quick. But yeah, Vikings get the win in a close one in a sold-out, whiteout stadium.
You're on week 7.
There we go.
17.
It's not going back. Yeah. There we go. All right. Bengals Patriots. This game was interesting. Bengals go away big at the beginning of the game. They are the only ones to score in the first half. Patriots are the only one to score in the second half, but the Bengals still get the win, 22-18. Joe Burrow, 40 for 52 for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mac Jones, 21 for 33, 240, 2 touchdowns, 4 sacks. Not a good run game by either team. Both of them really shut down. But again, this was Burrow versus Mac Jones. And Burrow showed why he is the better quarterback.
Yeah. You were playing with your food in the beginning. The food almost fought back in the second half.
Yeah. We should have started grilling because that.
I was listening to it.
But yeah, a great game. Again, every time one of our receivers is not doing as well, another one steps up. T. Higgins is doing great. 128 yards here in the game, really covering for Jamar Chase, only at 79, who was probably the big focus point of the Patriots defense. But yeah, a great game. I definitely liked watching the first half. Didn't like watching the second half, but hey, what are you going to do? Bengals get the win 22-18 in Foxborough. A great way for the Bengals to continue their win streaks. Still haven't lost since the Panthers game, which is great. I don't know why it keeps bumping me out to week 17. All right. Lions Panthers. This was a game Detroit could not afford to lose, and they lost it. Carolina Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium, killing the Lions 37-23 on the back of 165 yards from Donta Foreman and 125 yards from Chuba Hubbard. I have not seen like 120 plus yards from two running backs in the same game in a long time, and I love it. I love it. I don't know what Carolina's doing. Maybe it's the desperation, but they are running the ball like madmen, and they're going crazy. I mean, Sam Darnold even had 250 yards on 15 for 22 with one touchdown. Like, this Detroit Lions defense will show up some days, and other days they just won't. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what was going on with this defense here, but like, how do you allow 320 yards of rushing and 250 yards of passing? That's over 500 yards in total.
Yeah. Steve Wilkes is opposite Matt Rule. He actually ran the ball.
Yeah.
And then Lions couldn't do shit in the run game.
Yeah. They had 15 yards was their highest runner, and that was Jared Goff. He threw for 355 yards with 3 touchdowns and 2 sacks. So not a game the Lions could lose, and they lost it big time on the back of their defense, who didn't show up. So Carolina takes the win 37-23. Yeah, incredible run attack. Falcons-Ravens. This was one of Desmond Riddler's first starts. He went 22 for 33 for 218. Which is a pretty good start for a rookie quarterback, but not enough as they fell to the Ravens 9-17 in Baltimore. Tyler Huntley, who was still filling in for the injured Lamar Jackson, and as we might talk about later, might also be playing tomorrow and the primetime game, which is looking like the most logical outcome right now. No one's confirmed that Lamar Jackson is out, but also some of the tweets he's been posting have not looked great. The Ravens kind of won this game on the back of the run game. Gus Edwards had 99 yards, J.K. Dobbins had 59, and Huntley also ran for 26. Their highest passing yards was Mark Andrews, 45, or receiving yards, I should say. So, low-scoring game between two teams, one of which limping into the playoffs, the other just limping in general. But, yeah, the Ravens without Lamar Jackson is like the Bulls without Michael Jordan. You might have one or two players that can still get it done, but like you don't have that star key player that does everything, and it shows.
Yeah. Like, there was just no offense. Yeah, I can't think of anything. Just
like I would honestly take a Brady-less Buccaneers over a Lamar-less Ravens.
I think they're similar. Oh,
not defensively. That Bucs defense is still good defensively.
That is true. That is true.
I'll say it. If I said it once, I'll say it again. Vita Vea is disgusting. Vita Vea is a freak of nature.
He's a scary man.
Yeah. So Baltimore Ravens.
I can't think of anything else with this game except for like
some of these games this week was bad. Yeah.
There's been a lot of bad games this year.
Yeah. Ravens. Yeah. Again, Ravens get the win 17-9 against the Falcons at home. A key win for them to continue their playoff push in week 16. Next up, Texans football. Holy shit. Texans football. What the hell?
Houston, when I saw this happen.
The Houston Texans getting one of their 2 wins on the season, beating the Tennessee Titans 19-14 in Tennessee. Davis Mills, the key quarterback for them, 17 for 28 for 178, 1 touchdown, 1 pick against Malik Willis, who went 14 for 23, 2 interceptions and 99 yards. Derrick Henry even ran for 126 yards and 23 carries, but it was not enough. Houston comes out with the win in a slug match, a game that just was two teams just desperately trying to win the game for multiple reasons. The Titans try to get in the playoffs, the Texans to try to, have something to hang their hat on this season. And hey, this is a pretty good hook to hang your hat. Beating the current, well, at the time, current division leaders in their home stadium is a great way to really, show that this team still has some key players that could do well.
Titans suck.
Yeah.
They are frauds.
Derrick Henry needs to get out. There are no receivers on that team, despite, even with Robert Woods, who's not been great. He needs to get out.
That was when Burks was also hurt.
Yeah.
Still. So
Henry's got to get out, get to a team that's going to make a further playoff push because, again, he can't play 22 positions. So Texans slug it out, get a 5-point win, 19-14.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Commanders, 49ers, Brock Purdy continuing his push for offensive rookie of the year, which honestly, at this point, because of recency bias, might happen. I mean, he's the last pick in the draft, had an improbable route to starter, and is showing out and putting up great stats. Like 15 for 22, 234, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 3 sacks. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's better than Taylor Heineke's 13 for 18, 166, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 sacks, or Carson Wentz 12 for 16, 123, 1 touchdown. I think because of recency bias, which is not always a bad thing, I think Brock Purdy will get it, which I don't think is a bad thing because I don't really think of any other offensive rookies that have been that great. Like Kenneth Walker's been good, but he's tailed off in the season. Breece Hall's hurt. Even the Packers' 2 rookies, wide receivers, Christian Watson's been good in the latter half of the season, and then Dobbs has been good in the earlier half of the season. There's not been someone who's dominated his entire time, and Brock Purdy, the entire time he started and even filled in, has looked great.
Yeah. It's kind of rough trying to see for offensive rookie of the year because of all the injuries and other stuff, but
I can't think of anybody else besides Kenneth Walker III. Yeah. And he has not looked great at the end of the season.
I kind of put this up to coaching staff for San Fran too, keeping everybody still playing. Like they could have had a chance for a number 1 seed too, and they're in the number 2 seed right now.
Yeah, not bad. I don't think. Again, there's so many weapons for Tom Brady to utilize next season. 37 for San Francisco, 20 for Washington. San Francisco getting the win at Levi's.
And Washington got knocked out that game.
Yeah,
and
I like how
Ron did not know.
I like how someone asked him after the game, like, "Oh, did you know that if you didn't start Heineke, you guys would be eliminated if you lost?" And he's like, "We could be eliminated?" I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
That
was hilarious.
All right. Yeah, sit down, Maston. It's okay.
I know. This is waiting to pass.
Philadelphia Eagles 34, Dallas Cowboys 40 in Dallas. No Jalen Hurts, out with a shoulder injury. Instead, Gardner Minshew 24 for 40, 355 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 sacks. Dak Prescott 27 for 35, 347, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not a big run game from either team. The leaders in pass receptions were Devontae Smith with 113, AJ Brown with 103, and then for Dallas, 120 from CeeDee Lamb. This was definitely the Dallas Cowboys taking advantage of a quarterback that wasn't as mobile as Jalen Hurts. A lot of times, if that Eagles line is beat on a blitz, which you got to bring a lot of people to beat that Eagles O-line, Jalen Hurts is able to scramble and make plays happen. Gardner Minshew is not that quick, not that fast. It also doesn't have the arm that Hurts has, and the Cowboys really able to take advantage of that. Micah Parsons especially, really creating havoc for Minshew in the pocket.
This game, I'm not blaming Minshew on the interceptions. Quez Watkins, you're going to the Raiders. You're getting banished just like Matt Collins. You should have fought for those 2 catches or interceptions that could have been knocked down, but he had someone straddle him, and he didn't even try to get the ball out of the way or anything like that. I don't blame Minshew on the interceptions on that one. And also Miles Sanders, fumble, and then there was another fumble.
Yeah, some key mistakes, which, I mean, hopefully the Eagles don't have continuing on because they are the number one seed. They have a bye.
Mm.
This is their second loss in the season. Again, a divisional loss, but still, they're only their second loss. So the Eagles are definitely looking like they're trending down going into the playoffs. But the Cowboys are kind of trending up or flatlining as they go into the
Mm.
playoffs. Well, not flatlining, but like staying average-ish. But I don't know. Both of these teams tend to not do great in the playoffs, except for sometimes the Eagles show up, but Dallas tends to choke in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens this weekend with these two teams.
Well, Eagles don't play until next weekend.
Well, right, sorry. In the playoffs with these two teams, yeah. All right.
Woo!
The night game, the Pittsburgh Steelers somehow, some way, find a way to win and keep off the losing season for Mike Tomlin, winning on a last minute pass from Kenny Pickett to the end zone. Pickett 26 for 39 for 244, one touchdown, one pick, and Derek Carr in one of his apparently last few games as a Raider, 16 for 30 for 174, one touchdown, three picks, three sacks. I don't know if we really want to talk about this. I mean, Mike Tomlin's getting another win season. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know what else to expect. It's been an impressive winning season.
Anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. This is why this was the night game, was because of that. And like Franco Harris was supposed to have his number retired in the Steelers
organization. He passed away before the game. Yeah.
I just think Josh McDaniels does not need to be a head coach anymore.
Yeah. Also, a lot of it falls on Derek Carr, unjustly, I believe.
Like maybe some, but it's not like he. I don't know. It's a lot of. I think Josh McDaniels was terrible because Derek Carr wasn't bad last year. They actually had a coach they could have kept for another year.
Right.
After all the stuff that happened, he brought him to the playoffs. Let's get Josh McDaniels, and they just suck. And with Devontae Adams, it's like,
I just don't understand. Like, the Raiders are going so hard into Tom Brady. They're wanting to get Tom Brady in the offseason. I'm like, you don't have a defense.
Mark Davis wants the money. He's trying to get money. That's why he can't fire McDaniels, because he has no money to fire him.
Yeah, it's just Chandler Jones and not even Chandler Jones has been iffy this season. And then Max Crosby have been the only two defensive players that I can really name from the Raiders because they're the only ones that have really shown up and played that well. It's just been a rough season for them because they can't stop anybody on defense, and then their offense just has so many miscommunications and errors.
Yeah,
I don't see why Tom Brady would go there with an aging Darren Waller, an injured Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, who's now going to be 30 years old, and Josh Jacobs, who is, I don't know how old he's going to be, but again, running backs don't last much past 30.
He didn't sign his 5th year. Yeah, he didn't sign his 5th year option though. He might be gone.
I don't get this whole Raiders talk with Tom Brady. Like, I don't think that'll fix it. I really don't think that'll fix it at all. They also don't have a good O-line. And look at like if Brady goes to San Francisco, which I think will happen. Look, everything he's got there. He's got Trent Williams as an offensive lineman to lead that O-line, which has been great for Brock Purdy, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Trey Lance the whole season. He's got an inordinate amount of people to pass the ball to. Tom Brady loves little dump passes. You have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle. That's fucking insane. Not to talk about their defense, which is led by Bosa and Fred Warner. That has everything a Brady team needs. A great defense, a lot of options, and especially quick pass options in the little dump and slant routes. It has everything. It's just missing that puzzle piece, I think. And honestly, Brock Purdy might have been that piece, what it looks like right now. We'll have to see, because he is a rookie quarterback going into the playoffs, and that doesn't usually go well for most teams. So, usually. But again, Pittsburgh Sunday night game getting the win by 3, 13-10. And then these are the Christmas games plus the Monday night game. So Packers Dolphins was the first. Packers get the win by 6 in that early Christmas game, 26-20 in Miami. Excuse me. One of the games the Packers needed to win, trying to get into the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers 24 for 38, 238, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Tua Tagovailoa, 16 for 25, 310, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Run game was bad for both teams, only 36 yards for A.J. Dillon and 45 for Raheem Mostert, so this was a pass-heavy game, which the Packers still managed to pull away, helping out with their defense really shutting down Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill when they could. They both went for over 100 yards, but shutting them down in the right moments helped the Packers really pull ahead with Tua this season, which Tua has looked bad this season. With all the injuries and everything else going on, it's not been a great season for Tua Tagovailoa.
Look, 3 concussions in like 3 months. How do you think that's going to affect someone?
Yeah, he's probably seeing 3 Jalen Waddles out there when he throws the football and just aiming for the middle one.
Yeah. Not a lot really to talk about with this game. Just Packers just trying to do their magic bullshit.
Yeah, they definitely got it with this game. Able to distribute the ball around. Again, this is another game Christian Watson took another step, looking like a better and better option for Aaron Rodgers, which has been a great thing for them. Yeah. Not much to talk about. Packers get the win 26-20 on Christmas Day. Good Christmas present for Packers fans. Broncos were...
I saw this score. I was at my brother's place.
Let's rock.
It is... We're not going to talk about this game for long. Baker baked and Russell Wilson cooked. Baker baked a beautiful cake. Russell Wilson cooked a bowl of Cheerios with a hot dog and sour cream. It's bad. Los Angeles Rams 51, Denver Broncos 14. Yeah, just by that score, you can tell it was not great. Baker passed for 230, 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson, 15 for 27, 214, 3 picks and 1 touchdown. Not only that, but this was the Nickelodeon game of the year.
So my God.
They had Nickelodeon people covering it, right? So they had a voice actor for Patrick Starr put on mocap for his face, and he was able to live call the game as Patrick. And there was a scene where Russell Wilson threw the football, got intercepted, and Patrick was just like, "Oh, that's an interception. He didn't want to do that. Who let him cook?" And I'm like, that is the end of Russell Wilson's career. Getting roasted. Forget throwing a pick in this end zone of a Super Bowl on the 1-yard line. Getting roasted by Patrick Starr after throwing an interception on Christmas Day on Nickelodeon, your career's done. There's no coming back.
And Hackett was finally fired after that game.
Yes.
He finally got fired.
Hackett got
also,
back.
While I wasn't watching, but I also kept the score while I was with my brother. I saw the score early. I was like, Jesus, Rams, they're already dead. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah. 17 points in the first, 14 in the second, 3 in the third, and 17 in the fourth for a total of 51 total points.
Oh, my God. It's funny.
The 3 touchdowns that the Broncos had, 1 came in the third and 2 came in the fourth. Oh, sorry.
They only have one.
Only one. Only one. Sorry, my mistake. I saw that wrong. Only 1 touchdown, and it was in the fourth quarter. Bad game. Bad game. We're not going to look at this one anymore. Rams win big. All right. Buccaneers, Cardinals. Yeah.
Fuck you, Arizona. Fuck you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Tom Brady comes back late in overtime to force the win. 19-16. Buccaneers beat the Cardinals in overtime by 3. Brady, 32 for 48, 281, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Trace McSorley, the starter, as Kyler Murray is out. 217, 4.8 yards, 1 interception, 1 sack. A great game from Brady. Another one of those Brady late drives, like just flips the switch, turns the dial, is able to turn the plays that he needs to go his way, and able to force the win. Yeah, that Brady's still proving why he is a starter, and not just starter, but a great quarterback in this league.
Fuck you, Arizona. Fuck you, Kingsbury, for wanting more chaos in the NFC South. God damn it. God damn it.
Buccaneers needed to win games in order to stay in charge of their shit division. Yeah, they get the win 19-16. All right. Jeff Saturday, I'm sorry. Los Angeles Chargers on Monday night. Yeah, Los Angeles Chargers on Monday Night Football, 20. Indianapolis Colts, 3 in Lucas Oil. Herbert, 24 for 31 for 235 and 1 interception. Nick Foles, 17 for 29, 143 and 3 interceptions. No Jonathan Taylor for the game, which basically ruins the Colts offense because he's the centerpiece of that whole thing. Meanwhile, the Chargers were just going crazy. Austin Eckler was catching passes and running the ball. Keenan Allen was catching passes. Mike Williams was catching passes. Joshua Palmer was catching passes. It was just all over the place. And a great performance by them to really establish this dominant win, 20-3.
Colts suck ass.
Yeah, they have a lot of gaps.
Problem.
Again, Nick Foles, 7 sacks. Like, that's bad.
That was one of the best offensive linemen the year before. God damn.
Yeah, I mean, it still is a decent line, but they've had injuries. Quentin Nelson's still great, but at the same time, he can only block 1, maybe 2 guys if he's lucky.
Yeah, but he apparently I saw somewhere that he dropped hard this year. Like,
yeah,
it's bad.
Definitely.
This was just a bad game too.
Definitely not the best game that we could have seen. But that wraps up week 16. So since we haven't really covered anything, I'll go ahead and just look at this real quick. Since we didn't really predict week 17, we only predict week 16. Let me see here. There we go. We have our final standings on the season, only through week 16. Sorry about it. I ended up winning 165-63 by 1 win in total. Mamba 164 for 71 and Masson 153 for 69. What we're going to do with this, I don't know. Probably just bragging rights. So, yeah.
We'll see when Mamba comes back.
Yeah, we'll see what we'll do. But, yeah, just to keep you guys updated on that. Without further ado, again, we got a lot of stuff to get to.
17.
Yeah, week 17. We'll go a little faster through these next 2 weeks, I think, just because we didn't cover them a ton, and we just kind of want to get in quick because it's already 3:10 Eastern for us, so we want to get these wildcard predictions before the games even start. Cowboys win against the Titans 27-13 in Nissan Stadium.
Hard.
Another loss for the Titans. Dak Prescott didn't play that great, had 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns for 282 yards. I was watching this game with my brother. This is a Thursday night game. It was weird. It was an odd game. Joshua Dobbs was the starter, who was their third string quarterback. Didn't have the Brock Purdy third string kind of treatment, but at the same time, still managed to do decent. 20 for 39, 232, and 1 touchdown, 1 pick, only taking 2 sacks, and still a pretty good stat line. So I don't think Joshua Dobbs is the quarterback of the future for them, but also has looked better than Malik Willis this year so far. So good win for the Cowboys to continue their playoff push. Oh boy. Cardinals. What are you doing? Falcons get the win at home, 20-19. Desmond Riddler, 19 for 26, 169 for passing. And the starter for the Cardinals was David Blow. Really blew that game. 222, 1 touchdown and 2 sacks. I don't know who was watching this game, but it had no playoff implications. These two teams trying to salvage their seasons and see what some guys look like starting for next season. I cannot imagine this Cardinals team really sticking together much longer. They're going downhill fast, like a roller coaster. Bears-Lions. Lions turned around from having a terrible defensive game to going insane. They win 41-10 at home against the Bears. Justin Fields only had 75 yards of passing, but had 132 yards of rushing. So that dual threat really showing there. But Jared Goff, 225 yards of passing, and Jamal Williams, 144 yards of rushing.
Jamal Williams is him.
Yeah. Jamal Williams is doing great this season. We'll get into it a little bit later, but he also broke Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record for rushing touchdown record for the Lions. So great performance from him this season. Broncos-Chiefs. Broncos almost rode, but then they did 24-27. The final score, Chiefs taking the win by 3 at home in Arrowhead. Russell Wilson, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 222 yards, 26 for 38. Patrick Mahomes, 29 for 42, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. This game was tight until the Kansas City Chiefs pulled ahead late, getting the win by 3. Nothing can go right for the Broncos, and that's what you need to take away from this game. Nothing.
Nope. Nope.
Nothing. Nothing. They canned hack it, which is great. So they'll definitely going to be moving forward with that, trying to retool. But I don't know who's going to want to play with Russell Wilson after all the stuff that's been talked about in this season, which is sad. Patriots Dolphins. Yeah. 2-point game. England wins by 2, 23-21. Teddy Bridgewater, the starter for Miami, only passed 19 times, completing 12 of them for 161, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. He eventually went out in the game. Skylar Thompson came in 104, 12 for 21, 1 touchdown, 1 pick as well. Mac Jones, 20 for 33, 204 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This was just Bill Belichick being able to take advantage of unexperienced quarterbacks like Skylar Thompson, not so much Bridgewater, but definitely Thompson, taking advantage, get takeaways, and really put the game in his favor and allow his shamble of an offense to go forward, which I don't know why they had. They've been talking about this since the very beginning of the season about who's going to be the OC for the Patriots, and it needs to be someone else because this so far by Patricia has looked awful. It
is going to be someone. It is going to be someone else. They can Joe Judge and Patricia.
Yeah, I can't imagine why. Probably because Mac Jones has been yelling at the both of them. So bad season for the Patriots. Don't know why they didn't camp Patricia earlier, but maybe they want to see how it worked, and it didn't. So,
Bill Belichick wanted his own sloppy seconds.
Oh, Jeff Saturday, my sweet summer child. New York Giants 38, Indianapolis Colts 10. This was the famous game where Giants rookie Keon Thibodeau sacked the fuck out of Nick Foles. Nick Foles was on the ground in visible pain, like screaming, like literally screaming in the middle of the game on the ground, writhing in pain, and Keon Thibodeau is next to him doing snow angels. Black Air Force behavior. Straight up Black Air Force behavior from them. But hey, maybe that's the new New York Giants. Maybe that's the Dable Giants. Maybe they're the new, bad boy Raiders of the league. But they get the win 38-10 on the back of Daniel Jones, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as his 91 yards of rushing.
I think Thibodeau did not know. I don't know. I guess
he is a literal foot, maybe 2 away from Nick Foles, who is screaming, and he's hitting him with his hand as he's doing snow angels. How do you not see that?
I wasn't able to watch the game. I wasn't able to watch it. That's why.
My dad I was at home for this game because I was home from Christmas through the New Year, and he has Sunday ticket, and so he just will sit really close to the TV and watch all 8 games. And I remember seeing that in the bottom corner. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is he doing down there? And just after the game, in a couple of press conferences, Thibodeau was just like, oh, I didn't see him. I didn't even hear him. I just thought I was doing snow angels. And then he goes on the sidelines as Nick Foles is getting carted off the field. He's doing the sleeping, like the Steph Curry sleeping thing. I'm like, you're not escaping that. Like, I'm surprised he didn't get fined. I don't think he got fined, but I'm surprised at least I haven't heard that he's gotten fined. I'm surprised they didn't do anything else. But yeah, maybe it's good for the NFL to have, bad guys again that aren't Richie Incognito or Fontes Perfect. So, Richie Incognito throwing toasters at people. Or was that, no, that was that. Oh no, that was that, that Broncos middle linebacker who had the Polish name.
I can't remember.
I think it was Polish name.
Richie Incognito was definitely something else, though.
Yeah, Richie Incognito, calling Miami Dolphins rookies and saying racial slurs at them and saying he's going to kill them. Yeah, that's definitely CTE. Oh boy!
Sorry, I had a clean slate from my screen.
All right.
I wanted Minshew Mania, not Minshew Madness.
Yeah. Saints come into Lincoln Financial Field, the Link, as the native Phillians call it. They win 20-10 against the Eagles on the back of Andy Dalton's 18 for 22 and 205 yards, as well as Alvin Kamara rushing for 73. Gardner Minshew went 18 for 32 for 247, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, 6 sacks. Not great for the Eagles trending in the later part of the season.
Yeah.
Just not much to say about it, resident Eagles fan.
As I said, I was driving, so I wasn't able to watch it. But
how'd you not wreck your car?
I wasn't. I said I was not watching.
Oh, you were not driving. Oh, I thought you said you were driving.
I was driving, but was not able to watch it. I was driving back. That's.
Were you listening to it?
I tried to. but fucking trying to get certain signals in certain areas sucked ass. Because I had to go
You drove all the way from like Houston to Virginia?
from North Carolina down to past Houston, like about 2 or 3 hours from the border of Texas, Mexico, and then I went to
Holy
San
moly.
Angelo near San Antonio. So that was about 5-hour drive because my brother working there, and then my parents was camping there. Oh, it was a long ass drive, but I survived it.
Yeah. I remember when I
But
drove
yeah,
my wife, my girlfriend at the time, up to New York City to hang out with my uncle to propose to her in New York City, and that was a heck of a drive from Ohio to Connecticut. That was a drive. But yeah. Anyway, what was a drive was the Saints constantly going down the field and scoring, beating the Eagles by 10. Again, the Eagles are starting to trend down as the season is ending. Not good. You don't want to do that unless you can magically flip a switch, turn the dial and crank it to 100 and go into the postseason. But they will have a bye week. They'll have a week to recuperate and rest and recover and inject,
yeah.
Ryan Johnson with 17 different types of painkillers and recovery agents to try to get him back out on the field.
You mean Lane Johnson?
Or Lane, yeah, sorry, Lane Johnson. Yeah, they
Yeah,
will inject him with everything they can to get him back out there. Same Jordan Davis, keep him healthy,
and
and
Jalen
Jalen
Hurts because
Hurts,
he was.
and Jason Kelsey because he's old as dirt. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 There you go. Oh, not
That's
a
all I'll say.
not a good thing. It's this week. Yeah,
Uh,
there we go.
yeah,
Okay.
Bucks game.
Panthers Buccaneers. Holy moly, this shouldn't have been this close, but it was. Tampa Bay at home winning 30-24 against the Panthers. Sam Darnold threw for 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. But the issue for them was the run game was shut down. 35
Yeah.
yards from Donta Foreman, and Chuba Hubbard only had 12. Again, the Vita Vea effect in full effect. Tom Brady, 432 fucking yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 sacks, but also went 34 for 45. Threw to Mike Evans 10 times for 207 yards, and Chris Godwin 9 times for 120 yards. This Tampa Bay team, at least offensively, seems to be clicking a little bit better going in further and further into the season. They have constantly kept Julio's minutes down, and they've constantly kept Leonard Fournette's touches a little bit lower because playoff Lenny is something else. I don't know why every season Leonard Fournette decides to become the reincarnation of Earl Campbell in the playoffs, but he does. But yeah, 270 yards from Mike Evans is stupid. So again, it's Tom Brady.
Carolina had a chance. They had a chance. They could have won a division if they won out, but no. Damn it. They wanted more chaos.
Honestly, I don't want to see Carolina in the playoffs because you're looking at this now. And we'll talk about this, as I said, in a little bit. But Tampa Bay plays the Cowboys, who they beat early in the season. The Cowboys choke in the playoffs. Tampa Bay turns it up in the playoffs. People are honestly at this point going, I don't know who to pick. Even though the Cowboys have a 10-win season, the Buccaneers, I think, are below 500.
Yeah. I don't know who to pick because I want the Cowboys to lose, but then I'm like, fuck, I have to deal with Eagles might have to deal with Brady.
I wouldn't be too worried about the Eagles dealing with Brady. This is one of the this is one of the worst Tom Brady teams I've seen. But again, it's a Tom Brady team. So at any moment, it could be Tom Brady just turns back the clock to 2008 and it's just dotting people up.
Yeah.
Throwing dimes. All right. Two shitty franchises play a football game in the capital. Cleveland Browns 24, Washington Commanders 10. Cleveland gets the win off the backs of Deshaun Watson's 9 for 18. 169 yards with 3 touchdowns and 5 sacks. Nick Chubb ran for 104 yards. Kareem Hunt actually only got 2 carries for 0 yards, so a weird day for him, but again, Chubb led the way. The Commanders, who are usually a run-first team, did pretty well in that department. Excuse me. Thank you. Did usually do pretty well in the department, but only had 87 yards from Brian Robinson Jr., so they were really limited by that front 4 or 5 of Cleveland, really stopping that run with Myles Garrett and crew. Eventually, Cleveland comes out with a win on the back of a really shitty Deshaun Watson performance, which I'm happy to see.
I mean, Watson didn't have to do much when Carson Wentz could throw 3 interceptions.
I don't know if there was more shit on the field with Deshaun Watson being there or in the stands because it's FedEx Field.
Why not both?
Yeah, probably. It was just shit. The game was shit. The stadium was shit. The teams are shit. The quarterbacks are shit. Sorry about it. It was a bad game. Two teams that also colored shit brown colors. So, yeah, the shit bowl. There we go. Browns Commanders from here on out in the Football Stooges is the shit bowl. So there you go.
I did take the Browns to the Super Bowl earlier today.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right. It's the Houston Texans, and two good things can't happen 2 weeks in a row. Houston Texans 3, Jacksonville Jaguars 31 in NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. Trevor Lawrence, 152 yards, 17 for 21 on a 7.2 average with 1 reception. Davis Mills, 22 for 40, 202 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Big day for ETN Jr., 108 yards rushing on 9 carries. Great performance there. But again, Trevor Lawrence only, playing, I think, for the first 3 quarters. Didn't play the last. That was CJ Beathard, I believe. Beathard, yes. 5 for 8 for 29 yards and 1 interception. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence coming out, putting the hammer down on the Houston Texans, destroying them 31-3. This is Texans football. Yeah.
I'm just surprised Doug Pearson actually ran the ball. I'm surprised about that.
I mean, when you're playing the Texans, you want to see if you can do stuff, and this is a good opportunity to run some new plays. So, good win for the Jaguars to continue their playoff push. Great game here. From 2 young quarterbacks. Derek Carr has been benched and left the team at this point. What that means, I don't know, but that means he's not hanging out with the team. He's not practicing. He's not playing. He's not suiting up. He's not dressing. Whatever. So Derek Carr's time with the Raiders is done. Where he's going to go, I don't know. We'll probably cover that in a future episode. But yeah, San Francisco walks into Allegiant Stadium, 37-34, the final score, beating up on the Raiders on the back of Brock Purdy's 22 for 35. 284 yards, a 1.8 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jarrett Stidham, the quarterback for the Raiders, making one of his first starts, 23 for 34, 365 yards, a 10.7 average, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Christian McCaffrey ran for 121 yards, which really set up well. If you were to tell me in this game that Christian McCaffrey would outrun Josh Jacobs, I said you're crazy. But here we are, 121 yards for Christian McCaffrey, 69 for Josh Jacobs, also 101 yards receiving for Brandon Ayuk, who has been a great accessory for the 49ers, especially with Deebo Samuel being out. Devontae Adams, 153 yards receiving. He's been a diamond in the rough for the Raiders. If he wasn't there, I don't think the Raiders would be any good. And I think they might even be 0-16 or 0-17.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But San Fran, next man up, getting people coming in and playing well.
Yeah.
And they're not overusing. Well, even though Christian McCaffrey had 19 carries and still had 6 receptions, I won't say he's being overused.
Right. This game also went to overtime, too. Like 3-point game in overtime. And Brock Purdy's leading that team. Like, this guy has so much poise for a rookie quarterback at Iowa State.
And he wasn't bad at Iowa State. He was
no, not at all. But it's also like a lower level Big 12 school. You're not going to get much recognition. It's not like you're playing at Tennessee or Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State or Michigan State. There's not a big eye on Iowa State.
Give credit to Brock Purdy, but I give a lot of credit to coaching staff too.
Oh yeah, and he's got a lot. I mean, if Brock Purdy was starting for the Falcons, he wouldn't be doing the same as he is now.
True.
He has weapons with a capital WEAPONS.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it fits.
Yeah. Great win for them, 37-34. Next up, Jets suck. 23-6, the final score. Seattle Seahawks win big against the Jets at home. Mike White back after getting sawed in half by Matt Milano, 23 for 46 for 240. Again, great numbers from this kid, even if for the 2 interceptions. But Geno Smith outplaying him team-wise, 18 for 29, 183, 2 touchdowns, 4 sacks. And Kenneth Walker III trying to make some ground on an offensive rookie of the year, 133 yards of rushing. Again, Jets are a one-sided team. They can only pass the ball. Even if they have Mike White, who can put up great numbers, their defense can't always stop some of these better plays from Pete Carroll's offense that's being run through Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker, which they've been doing great. That Jets offense is struggling to really score well, especially against this Seahawks defense who specializes in the pass. So I bet you if the Jets had Breece Hall back, this would be a close, if not a Jets win.
Yeah, I would say it would be closer.
Yeah, because the Seahawks' biggest issue is, stopping the run.
Yeah, and Geno, yeah, who's big win for Seattle, try to make it playoffs. Who expected Geno Smith and the Seahawks to go into the playoffs?
Yeah, Geno Smith has locked up that most improved player of the year.
Yeah,
if you're gonna bet on something right now,
comeback player of the year right there.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I meant. Most improved comeback. Oh. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, he's locked that. That's a lock. Take that to the bank. Put that in sports books or whatever. I don't care. But yeah, Seahawks get the win big.
Down.
All right. Okay. This was weird. My wife is a huge Packers fan, and she wanted to leave the room because she thought she was going to get very mad at the Packers the whole time. And it was funny. We would hear her watching the game on her iPad in the basement, being like, "What the hell is going on? We're winning!" Like, I didn't understand it either. 41-17, the final score for Green Bay against the Vikings at home. Rodgers only passed for 159 yards and 1 touchdown. Kirk Cousins passed for 205 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 picks. But Aaron Jones ran for 111 yards, and Justin Jefferson, 1 reception for 15 yards, and he had 5 targets. There was some master-level defense at work here, stopping Justin Jefferson. This Minnesota Vikings team has a lot of issues that could be very much so, expanded upon and exploited coming into the playoffs. And this was an exploitation right here. 41-17, Green Bay. Holy.
Yeah. They're the most fraud out of the NFC teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Compared to their record. If you compare it to their record,
they don't look 12-4. They don't look 12-4 at all.
But
not at all.
Hey, don't know what happens until playoffs start.
Anything can happen, but in this game, 41-17, the final score, Green Bay killing the Vikings. Yeah. Okay, Rams, Chargers, 31-10, the final score, Rams beating up on their LA stadium sharing Los Angeles Rams. Mayfield didn't do that great, 11 for 19, 132, no interceptions, no sacks. Cam Akers also ran for 123 yards, which is the best game he's had all season. Justin Herbert, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. Austin Eckler, 122 and 10 carries for 2 touchdowns. Mike Williams also had 94 yards receiving. Great game for the Chargers. They're really clicking late. Their offense is looking better and better, and their defense is able to make more key stops when needed. So the Chargers looking like they're trending upward going into the playoffs, which is where you want to be. Also, getting into double-digit wins in the season, another great opportunity for them.
Bouncy looks good until the week 18 of Brandon Staley.
We'll get to week 18 when we get there, because that was bad. That was BADDD, bad. Great. I never am happy for the Steelers to win, but in this situation I was. Pittsburgh Steelers, again, keeping the Mike Tomlin dream of never having a losing season alive. I feel like if Mike Tomlin gets a losing season, he retires just then and there. That's just what happens. It just boom, 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 done.
Steelers don't fire coaches. They just let his contract run out.
Pretty much. Bengals were the same way. We had Marvin Lewis for my entire life at one point. Yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers 16, Baltimore Ravens 13. In Baltimore, Kenny Pickett, 15 for 27, 168, and 1 touchdown. Tyler Huntley, 14 for 21, 130, one touchdown, one pick. It was Najee Harris on the ground that led the way, 111 yards and 22 carries. A great performance there in the run game on Najee Harris, who's been iffy this season, back and forth. Mark Andrews had 100 yards receiving. He was their highest receiver. The next closest guy was, there's no receivers in Baltimore. No, Isaiah Likely, 12 yards. Next highest, Mark Andrews, 100. It's such a disparity. That's an 88-yard disparity between the number 1 and number 2 receiver in a game. That's insane.
Also, there was a problem with the Baltimore Ravens. They had a 10-point. They have a two-digit lead over the Steelers in the fourth quarter. That was a problem.
Yeah.
You know how many losses they had when they had a 2-digit lead in the fourth quarter? This is their fourth one this year.
Oh,
yeah, fourth or fifth. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Ravens are probably the trending into the playoffs. I think the Ravens are the furthest downgrade. They are limping in the whole league. Is Miami. Any team getting into the playoffs going worse than Miami?
Miami. That's the only thing I could think of was Miami.
Well, Miami has receivers.
But no, Tua's not playing.
I mean, do they have Teddy?
Thompson. Nope. Oh, Skylar Thompson.
Oh, they're probably on par.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah, Steelers take the win. They're sitting at 8-8, and that week 17 game, week 17 game, 8-8, doing good against the Ravens, who only scored 13 against them. Okay, and then Bills Bengals. Was watching that game. Bengals were up, I believe, 10-3.
7-3.
Yeah,
it was 7-3.
7-3. Yes. And then Damar Hamlin went down with an injury. Thankfully, now we're far enough ahead from this that he's okay. He collapsed on the field, was technically, if you will, dead. And I use air quotes in that by saying he had no pulse. He was not breathing on his own. He had to be resuscitated there at the game. They took him to the Cincinnati local hospital. The NFL postponed, then canceled the game. The only reason they wanted to continue it is because it was an important game. If the Bengals would have won that game, they would be the 2 seed. How things have shaped up now, if they would have won that game and the Chiefs would have lost a game, they would have been the 1 seed. So there were some issues with that. Also, then the NFL talked about that game wasn't played, so now we must have neutral sites in case there's certain things. And there's still that's going to happen. There's still issues with neutral sites possibly showing up coming into the AFC Championship and stuff like that. So
I think out of that situation, that's actually I think that's actually one of the smartest things the NFL did. The players did not want to play after all that because they were giving CPR for at least 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So who would play with that? Nobody.
Yeah. I'm definitely not happy with the neutral site. I get it. Honestly, the NFL has enough money. Play the first half of the game in one team's arena, fly to the other one and play the other team's arena. You've got enough money, NFL. Come on.
It's kind of the most random shit, but no. But out of all the situation, at least Damar Hamlin has all of his, he's able to move everything. Looks like he's able to actually live a normal life too. So that's a great sign.
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess we go into week 18.
Yeah, that's a sad way to end.
Should we go into the main stuff that really affected?
Yeah, we'll talk about stuff that really affected the playoff push, and we'll gloss over some other things. So we'll definitely talk about
Titans, Jaguars.
Yeah. So real quick, Saturday games. Chiefs got the win. They're solidified the 1 seed. They got it big over the Raiders. Then next was the Titans-Jaguars, which was the literal battle for the AFC, and we have some videos for that.
You actually got
some? Oh, shit, bro. We got the Titans. I ain't seen the Titans this week. It's just the ones Aaron fought. Oh, shit. We got to catch. Bro, what the? I ain't gonna lie. That's a bit outlandish. That's a forward.
That was called a forward pass. The Titans just vying for everything.
Oh, shit, bro. We got Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry run like Optimus Prime if he smoke black him out. Hey, yo, my brother in Christ. Just do that, man.
Boo that man.
I love that is Trap House Sports on TikTok. Real fun page. But yes, Jacksonville getting the win 20-16 against the Tennessee Titans late in that game, pulling away in the fourth quarter, scoring 10 to the Titans 0. Joshua Dobbs 20 for 29, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 4 sacks. Trevor Lawrence 1 touchdown, 1 sack. Not a big rushing day for Jacksonville, but for the Titans, that's all they had. It was just Derrick Henry, 109 rushing yards on 30 carries. Not enough to get it done. Jacksonville pulls ahead and secures the AFC South championship in a crazy AFC South season that sees the winner at 9-8.
Yeah, Titans suck. Jacksonville.
That is the worst. This is the worst division of football.
And it's
no, it's worse. Houston, Indianapolis in one division. You kidding me?
Oh no.
What?
Hold on. Did I just cut out or? Oh no.
You're still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, hold on.
We have some technical difficulties at the Okay, sorry about that. We had a bit of internet issues, but we are back. Again, the world doesn't want the football stooges to continue, but we will ignore that fact. But as we were saying, Jacksonville gets the win 20-16, securing the worst division of football's championship, AFC South. They're going into the playoffs and have a chance to progress. We'll look at that, but it definitely was a slug for them the entire season. And as for Tennessee fans, this is rough. You guys have lost, I believe, 7 straight games. If I look at the Titans' schedule.
Oh, yeah. They lost about 7 straight.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 7 straight to end the season. They had only lost 3 games to start, and boom, 7 straight L's is awful. All right. But yeah, Jacksonville gets the win 20-16 over the Titans, securing their spot in the playoff. Next up, Falcons beat the Buccaneers. Buccaneers didn't need to win this game, and they kind of rested their players. Kind of just a throwaway game for them. Next up, the Patriots needed to win to beat the Bills to get in. They did not. Bills win 35-23. Bills advancing into the playoffs into that second seed. Josh Allen 19 for 31, 245, 8.2 yards of average, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 sacks. Mac Jones 26 for 40, 243, 6.1 average, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not a great day to throw 3 picks in a win or bust game, and they busted.
Hey, the Bills fucking played 2 kickoff return touchdowns.
Yeah.
Sealed a deal. Yeah.
Right after DeMar Hamlin was recovering.
And basically kind of took New England out of the playoffs, so that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world is happy.
Yep, New England is out. Vikings beat the Bears 29-13. The biggest thing here is that since the Bears lost, and if we skip down 2 games to the Texans, Texans won 32-31 on the last play. The Bears now have the first pick in the draft. So Mamba's happy about that.
And Lovie Smith is out from Texas. Yeah, Lovie Smith is not the Texans head coach anymore, but he said, "Fuck you, Texas, not letting you have the first pick."
Yep. So Texans beat the Colts. Now the Bears had the first pick in the draft, and the Vikings won the game, so they are still sitting pretty at their spot in the playoffs. Bengals Ravens, which is this game, is going to just be repeated, same place, everything. Next week for the playoffs. Bengals won 27-16. Anthony Brown was the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. He went 19 for 44 for 286 yards and a 6.5 average, taking 4 sacks and throwing 2 picks. Joe Burrow kind of didn't play that insane, but they didn't really need him to. 25 for 42, 215, 1 touchdown, 2 sacks. Wasn't a great game from really anybody. It was a very just normal run of the mill. Let's just get the win and move on kind of game for the Bengals. They win their first ever AFC North back-to-back championship in franchise history, which is great for them. But both teams, both Cincinnati and Baltimore, will advance into the playoffs and play each other coming up in this wildcard round tomorrow night. It looks like Baltimore will be without Lamar Jackson, but again, as we said, we will get into that. Let's see here. Oh yeah. We have another Trap House Sports video for this.
Oh, shit, bro.
Oh, no, that's not one.
Players Campbell look like he wake up every day and punch his refrigerator to get his day started. Bengals O-line getting ready to give up 97,000 quarterback pressures in the first half. Speaking of, look how the game started off. Joe Shiesty running for his goddamn life. He looked like he was out there playing the floor is lava. He was running for his life like that was his first time seeing black people. I had the fucking Ginyu force in my face the immediate second I snapped the ball. I would have been running too. Imagine saying hike and immediately the fucking Akatsuki is trying to get you. Oh shit, bro, the Ravens got the ball. Well, I'll be damned, he throws it downfield. Was that a punt? Punting on first down, kind of wicked. Never seen that before. He did 97 moves in a matter of 5 yards. He ain't going nowhere. We found out Joe Shiesty more elusive than you. Joe Shifty. What's up with the Bengals and all this outlandish behavior, bro? Y'all the most disrespectful team in the league. What is this? Get up! I know damn well that ain't Joe Mixon with the ball. Oh, well, I be damn. What is he finna do? Is that a coin? He was out there playing with a quarter in your pocket? Hey, yo, Joe Mixon, what's wrong with you, man? Why do you act like this? Well, I be damn. The Ravens got the ball again. Oh, well, I be damn. Now the Bengals got it. Oh, what the fuck? Here we go with this shit again. Get up! Why y'all laying down? This is the most outlandish team in the NFL. Steelers might be the most aggressive. The Browns might be the most hood. But the Bengals the most outlandish. This catch by Jay Chizzy was outlandish. This goddamn celebration is outlandish. What is that? He ain't even gritty after. He just like faked a hamstring and then stopped. Joe Burrow, the only serious motherfucker on this whole team. Well, I be damned. The Ravens got the ball. They get in for a touchdown. But it's the Ravens we're talking about, and two good things cannot happen in a row. On the next possession, they absolutely shit the bucket, turn it over in the end zone. Leads to a Bengals touchdown, and that right there was murder she wrote. That right there was the end of the game. What I mean when I say y'all the most outlandish. Eli Apple, why you doing this? Nobody told me you look like Overton from Living Single. Eli Apple gonna get fined so much he gonna have to make a GoFundMe. Gonna have to play in the USFL just to pay bills. He gonna get.
Oh man! Again, Trap House Sports is amazing on TikTok. Absolutely great account.
Stupid.
But the Bengals, Joe Mixon was actually fined for that coin flip that he did because he put a coin he put a coin in his glove. It was a bet from Ocho Cinco on Twitter. He put a coin in his glove, was playing the whole game, ran for a touchdown, took the coin out, flipped it, and the stereotypical plan was that if the Bengals were to lose the Ravens, there would be a coin flip to see where the game would be played, either in Baltimore or in Cincinnati. So the Bengals said, we're not dealing with any of that. Ocho Cinco tweeted at the Bengals, said, if any of y'all love me, do a coin flip as a celebration dance on a touchdown, and I will pay back any fine you get. And that happened. Joe Mixon is now going to get fined for it. He's appealing it and tweeted at Roger Goodell saying, we'll do a coin flip. If it's heads, I'll pay the fine. If it's tails, you got to pay that same money to the Boys and Girls Club of Cincinnati. And I am loving this defiance from the Bengals. Okay, the NFL has shit on the Bengals the entirety. It's a small market team. The NFL doesn't care. They don't make enough money. So the NFL has shit on this team this entire season. So now we're putting some middle fingers back up theirs, and we're saying you need to respect us. You need to fuck off and treat us like you would treat the Chiefs or the Giants or the Los Angeles fucking teams that you'd like stroke off every game and give them thousands of hours of media coverage. Because I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of watching these teams that nobody cares about in California, maybe besides the Niners, and they're getting primetime coverage when they suck. They just suck. It's awful.
Heard this is a Wendy's.
Yeah. Dolphins get into the playoffs after
they limped into the playoffs.
Limped. They scored no touchdowns in this game. The final score 6-11. Dolphins winning on a final. I'm not even looking at this. Dolphins get in the playoffs. They won in the game where they didn't score any touchdowns. Moving on. They're limping.
Screwed over the Steelers.
Yeah. They're limping into the playoffs. Panthers Saints. Panthers get the win in a late game this season, 10-7. No playoff implications there. Steelers win 28-14, getting a 9-8 record, so they don't have a losing season. So that's the biggest notion from that. Broncos Chargers. Broncos get the win. However, the Chargers lost the game, but also were playing the starters and ended up getting Mike Williams hurt, and he will not play in the first round of the playoffs. He has been their best receiver this season. He was playing in this game. The Chargers didn't need to win. They didn't need to play in their starters. They played their starters and they got hurt. A dumb-ass decision. This could cost them their first round.
And Brandon Staley needs to be fired after that. Like, even if he made it to the playoffs, fire him right now. Fucking stupid ass.
This was the Eagles win and get the first place or lose and don't, and they won. They won 22-16 against the Giants. Jalen Hurts was back in this game and played well, 229 yards, 1 interception, 20 for 35. He did well here.
Also, holy shit, the Eagles actually ran. Miles Sanders, I think someone else actually had decent yardage. Not a lot, but like they actually, well, it wasn't Miles Sanders, but Boston Scott.
13 yards for Jalen Hurts, 33 for Miles Sanders, 35 for Kenneth Gainwell, and 54 for Boston Scott. So they spread it around pretty well. But they really stopped the Giants well. Daniel Jones was not playing. They were resting their guys because if they lose, they're in. If they win, they're in. They didn't really care about trying to do everything to beat the Eagles, get out of the first seed. It didn't really matter to them. They were just wanting to get in the playoffs, so they rested a lot of their guys. So not a key game, but like the Ravens or the Eagles still won. They still got the first seed, so they're doing well. 49ers just wanted to try to get the first seed. The Eagles won, so it didn't really matter. They won 30-13 against the oh-so-bad Cardinals. The Seahawks won against the Rams in overtime. This game decided what was going to happen in the late game. The whole way the NFC last seed played out was if there were three teams, the Packers were at the top, they win, they're in. The Lions were next up. If they won and Seattle lost, they were in. Seahawks were next. So if Seattle won and Green Bay lost, they were in. And at the bottom seed was the Lions. If the Lions won and Seattle lost, they would be in. So in this game, the Seattle needed to win, and they did that in overtime, winning 19-16 on the back of Geno Smith's 213, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and 3 sacks. Kenneth Walker III again doing great, running for 114 yards. A great performance by the Seahawks in a key game where they needed to get it done, and they did. Also, Cam Akers running 104 yards. I don't know why he decided to show up in the last 3 weeks of the season, but here we are. Too little, too late, buddy. But yeah, the Seahawks kept the dream alive, and I believe it's with this next game, or soon to be next game.
Cowboys. Yeah, if Cowboys won, Eagles lost, they get number 1 and division.
Right, and the Cowboys just didn't show up. They lost 6-26.
Fuck you, Cowboys!
Yeah, trending down. The Cowboys definitely are on a bit of a trend down after that game. Not scoring any touchdowns against the Commanders team was rough, but again, they didn't need to win after the Eagles won. So, but this game was big. Packers win the in. Lions, if they win, then they are in if the Seahawks lost, but they won, so that would put the Seahawks in now. Lions ended up winning 20-16 in Lambeau at night. This was a stunning game. At the end of the game, the Packers were pretty demoralized. Aaron Rodgers walking off the field, arm over Randall Cobb. Some people expecting that was his last game in Lambeau or in general. He was asked to have a jersey switch with Jamal Williams at the end of the game. Rodgers said, I need to hold on to this one. People are taking that all sorts of directions now. There's a lot of speculation. It was a good performance by Rodgers. 205 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 2 sacks. Jared Goff had 224 yards, 6.6 average, no touchdowns, no picks, and 1 sack. Passing was really just Christian Watson in his best game of the year, 104 yards, 5 receptions, but not enough to stop the Lions winning by 4.
MCDC the cojones on that one play to get like 8 yards for almost a first down.
Yeah.
But damn. This is one of the best Detroit teams, just like record-wise, in a while.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
They have they actually starting to get some talent on offense. They fix their defense by firing that coach. Actually helped. Detroit could actually do something next year.
Yeah, they need to get a couple more pieces. Maybe a quarterback. People are thinking that they do something. They maybe try to go and get Lamar if he's available. They try to go and get Derek Carr if he's available. Try to go and maybe draft a quarterback. Try to trade up and draft a quarterback.
But they have a coach now. They actually have a decent coach.
Yeah, and their O-line looked good. They have a good running back. They have some good receivers. Maybe throw another receiver in there. I don't know why they traded away TJ Hawkinson. That trade still fucking baffles me. They had a great tight end, and they traded away the Vikings, a divisional rival at that. But they have a lot of pieces moving forward. They'll do great things. The other hand, Green Bay depends on who stays. If Rodgers stays, which he met with the team a couple different times, I don't know if they would have talked about, hey, I'm leaving, prepare, or hey, let's get these weapons and let's retool. I don't know. He didn't look great at the end of that game. His hand was broken. His thumb was just gone. So I don't know if he's going to want to stay, if he's going to keep playing. I don't know.
Nobody knows. But this is a great ending for Detroit. Even if they didn't make it playoffs, this was still something for them.
Yeah. And that was the final game of the regular season. There we go.
Woo, walk hard.
Yep. let's look at this wild card first. Let me go ahead and look at the playoff. Is there a playoff bracket I can see?
I don't think so. Oh well. We should all know though in general.
All right, I got it.
Okay.
Image and new tab. There we go. All right. 2022-23 playoff bracket. I think this is what we'll use for our predictions, honestly. I like this a little bit better because you're able to visualize it. So if you aren't aware, the way it works is that there's a bye for the first two teams, and then every other team plays a wild card team. The team that is the lowest seed remaining out of the wild card week will play the number one seed. That leaves two teams to play in the bottom seed, as you can see right here. So for the AFC, number one seed is the Chiefs. The number two seed Bills will be playing the number 7 seed Dolphins. Number 3 seed Bengals will play number 6 seed Ravens, and the number 4 seed Jaguars will be playing the number 5 seed Chargers. In the NFC, the number 1 seed Eagles get a bye. The number 2 seed Niners play the number 7 seed Seahawks. The number 3 seed Vikings play the number 6 seed Giants. The number 4 seed Buccaneers play the number 5 seed Cowboys. We're going to do our whole playoff prediction. We're going to predict how it goes step by step. We'll predict each game. I don't know if we'll really keep track of these, but this is just kind of what we think is going to happen and go forward from this point on. Starting out with, we'll go from AFC to NFC. AFC, number 2 seed Bills, number 7 seed Dolphins. I think we're both on the same page here. I'm taking the Bills by quite a bit. There's no Tua.
Yep.
There's no
Miami defense.
Miami defense, and there's no Teddy Bridgewater either. So it's Skylar Thompson versus the Bills, which is
yeah. I'm with you on that one.
Bills by like 14, I'm thinking. It's not going to be great for the Dolphins. Bengals, Ravens. The talk right now is that Lamar Jackson will not play. That's almost 90% sure by now. He has texted multiple times that tweeted multiple times, sorry, that he has a PCL strain issues there. So it's looking like he will not play, which will leave it up to one of his backups, which both have looked really bad thus far. The Bengals already beat up on them already, so that would mean it's a full Bengals roster minus, I think, Alex Kappa's now out with a leg injury against the Ravens, who are limping in the playoffs. So I'm taking, even if you call me a homer all you want, I'm taking the Bengals in this one.
No, I'm agreeing with you on the Bengals. Like, good God, I think Ravens going to get destroyed this game.
Yeah. Next up, Jaguars and Chargers. This one's
one's interesting.
Jaguars have no defense, but their offenses look better and better. And the Chargers have a good offense and a decent defense, but they also are now without Mike Williams, who just got hurt. And there's a lot of things going on with this. It's in Duval, Jacksonville. So I don't know, man. This is a tough one. And honestly, my gut's telling me Jacksonville. I think it'll be a Jacksonville, Kansas City divisional playoff starting the next round. I'm going to take Jacksonville by 3 in a close one, possibly even OT.
I'm thinking Jacksonville by 7 because Brandon Staley's going to be dumb. And, like, no Mike Williams. Like, he needs to be fired now. Jacksonville, you deserve this. You actually do. Yeah. And then we'll go to NFC.
Yep, we'll go to NFC. Starting out, number 2 seed San Francisco 49ers versus the number 7 seed Seattle Seahawks. Oh, it's been a great ride for the Seahawks, dude, but the San Francisco 49ers are so deadly. I don't think it will be that close of a game. I think the Niners are going to do great here.
I could go with the Niners too. Even if Brock Purdy's a rookie, it's like the last pick in the draft, that defense is still too much. They have a lot of weapons. And Seattle, you had a great run, but I think this is going to be your last stop.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they saw the 5th pick because the Broncos.
Yeah, they do. They do indeed. Next up is the number 3 seed Vikings versus the number 6 seed Giants. I'm expecting an upset here. I'm taking the Giants in a close one. I think the Vikings are frauds. I think that the Giants will perform to the best of their ability and be able to kick the Vikings out of the playoffs and force them into an early exit.
I gotta agree with you. We're starting to agree on like a lot of these. Like, yeah, Giants. Like, Vikings has been very, very fraudulent right now. Like, if they pull it out, holy shit, they'll be happy. Of hey, Giants are out, but I don't see that happening.
Next up, this is a tough one. Number 4 seed 8 and 9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus number 5 seed Dallas Cowboys. This is a tough one. They played early in the season. Again, the two teams were a little different back then, but the Cowboys lost big to the Buccaneers. And this is also the playoff Buccaneers. I'm expecting another upset, which is honestly what 4 seed beating a 5 seed is never usually an upset, but in this case, it seems like it is. I'm expecting the Buccaneers to win big against the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy's going to choke again. So is Dak Prescott. Ezekiel Elliott's on his last leg. That defense can't do nothing. Trayvon Diggs can't guard anyone. I'm expecting the Buccaneers to win big here and to send all the Cowboys fans home reeling once again out of playoff wildcard weekend.
I hate picking one of these two right now. Fuck me. I have to say, fuck the Cowboys. Tampa Bay's winning. They're gonna pull something out of their ass. And guess what? Oh no! If I had the Giants winning, Eagles have to face against the Giants. Fuck! I'm screwed no matter what.
Yeah.
Ah.
So
I'm saying
for the AFC, by our predictions, that would mean that it would be a Chiefs, Jaguars, and then Bengals, Bills. Let's start with the Chiefs, Jaguars. I think the Chiefs are winning that. Jaguars have no defense. You cannot play the Chiefs defense, Chiefs offense without defense. So that is going to be a huge win for the Chiefs going into the AFC Championship.
And also Andy Reid, after a bye week, he's basically undefeated. He's facing against Doug Peterson again, who he's beat already a couple times. So Chiefs.
Next up is it will be the Bengals and the Bills. I think the Bengals will win that one, even though it'll be in the Bills territory. Bengals were beating the Bills before the DeMar Hamlin injury, and they were looking well. They've looked good this season so far. I think we'll have a rematch of the AFC Championship.
I'm gonna have to be different just because I actually think it's a 50-50. I gotta go with Bills. I'm gonna go with Bills for this one. So Bills beating the Bengals, and it's gonna be a rematch between Bills Chiefs.
Bills Chiefs, okay. For the NFC, we would have the Eagles and Giants playing each other, and then the 49ers and Buccaneers. So Eagles, Giants, I'm taking the Eagles in that one. I know the Giants are pretty good on paper against the Eagles, but still, the Eagles have too much experience and too many key players to lose to the Giants there.
Eagles. I have to go with the Eagles.
Yeah. Next then would be the Buccaneers and the 49ers. I like Tom Brady, but I don't think that defense is stopping Brock Purdy and all the weapons. I'm taking the 49ers in that one.
Didn't Brock Purdy beat Tom Brady early in the season?
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah. So take San Fran again.
Yep. So that would mean the championships, AFC, Chiefs, Bengals. NFC would be the Eagles, 49ers. AFC, Chiefs only got worse, Bengals only got better. Everything about the Chiefs roster downgraded from last year. Everything about the Bengals roster upgraded from last year. Bengals are going to win. Close one, but again, I think the Bengals would advance to their second straight Super Bowl.
I was the only one that was. I only had this one that's different.
Right, you had Bills, Chiefs.
Bills beat the Chiefs earlier this year.
Okay.
I think they'll beat them again, so they go in.
And then we have Eagles, Niners. I'm sorry, that Eagles defense cannot stop all these Niners weapons. I'm taking the Niners in a close one. I'm calling Bengals, Niners, Super Bowl.
Bills, Eagles, Super Bowl. Like, I want the Eagles to win. This is just me being like, I want the Eagles to win. Yeah. I am scared of San Fran. I think San Fran is actually the best matchup against the Eagles. But I want the Eagles to win. So Bills, Eagles.
Okay. And then for me, for my Super Bowl, which was Bengals 49ers, I'm going to take the Bengals in that by 7. I think it's going to be a close game, but it's going to be revenge for Kenny Anderson and Boomer Esiason. The 2 years they went to the Super Bowl as the Bengals, and they lost both times to the San Francisco 49ers. It is revenge. It's going to be revenge that's best served cold, and we're going to kick them in the mouth. Bengals win the Super Bowl, come home. 2022, 2023 NFL champions. Right there.
Eagles, the Eagles Bills for me. Fourth quarter, Nick Foles comes in with the glass breaking. Okay, no. I'm gonna say Eagles. I'm gonna go stay Eagles. I just want the Eagles to win. I want another one. I don't want people to be like, "Oh, it's a."
This is shaping up to be a fun playoff. We have some good wildcard games. We have some shit wildcard games, but like I would say, the Dolphins Bills is the shittiest. Bengals Ravens is the next shittiest. But then like the ones that are close that you could go either way, Jacksonville and Los Angeles could be close. The Giants Vikings could be really close. So could be the Tampa Bay Dallas. And then honestly, Geno could surprise us and we could see a close San Francisco Seattle game. Those could be really close. So I'm glad Wildcard Weekend isn't just a wash. Sure, there's a couple games that look like a wash, but you never know what's going to happen. So no team can be taken for granted. Just as no player can be taken for granted, or no cast member can be taken for granted. We miss you, Mamba. Get on the mend. But that has been probably the longest episode of Football Stooges, or at least the most all-encompassing. We got to get off the air because playoffs start soon. Hopefully, we'll be able to edit this and get it to you soon. But thank you so much for joining in, listening, and watching wherever you are. Make sure to leave a like and leave a comment so we can answer them the best we can. Sorry we couldn't get to them this week. We're a bit overflooded with the amount of stuff we had to cover, but we're back on a weekly schedule upcoming. We're going to continue to go, and I have some plans for the off season, so don't worry about us taking a long break for the off season. So we'll be doing some things through there. But for myself and for Maston, thank you for tuning in. Listen to us ramble about the NFL for a solid couple hours. Enjoy this wildcard weekend and have a great time watching some football. Run the damn ball. Good night.